Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome everyone, Fed Philbid. Welcome, my first YouTube member. You are an honored guest with a blue Muller behind your name. Ark, welcome. Paolo, welcome here as well. Everyone new, I see some new people here. Welcome, thanks for joining. Ark, I actually have Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is not working quite well for me. Instagram, I'm at 22,000 followers there, but it's not the community that it is here. So Instagram, I used to shoot everything for Instagram until a year ago, until maybe half a year ago, and it's just people who like the videos. It's they find it satisfying or soothing. I don't know, but it's not for the pigment content. It's not about the information. It's not about the education. It's about nothing. And here on YouTube, there is a small community. People joining us here in the chat. Everyone in the comments. It is a better place for this, I think. So, but you can find me on the other platforms. Instagram I use mostly for the stories, where I do announcements and a little bit more behind the scene things. I need to kind of incorporate the messages on YouTube, or the what is it called? You know, the posts on YouTube. I need to do that a little bit more. So thanks for joining everyone. Right here are all the paints that I just showed in my swatching video. For those of you who haven't seen it, go check it out after the live stream. These are also all the. I'm sorry, it's a bit. Our entire household here, our two girls, daughters, and my wife, myself included, we're all a bit ill-ish. I'm just starting. One of my girls is just on the end. My wife is halfway, kind of there, and hopefully my other daughter is kind of over it after last week, but I'm afraid that'll start next week. So shop is not open yet. I will open it during the live stream, so I have a reason to kind of take you hostage here and use you for your for your watch hours on YouTube. Now I will open my shop during this live stream. I will start making paint, as you can see over there. I'm going to make Yin Min Blue during the live stream. Just a small batch, a couple of dots. But as I've said, these are all the paints that I swatched. 79, I think. Single pigments. I took out Viridian Green PG18 since I had issues with the pigment that I have, and I have quite a lot of that pigment. My very first batch a while back was working great, and the Viridian Green I have right now is, I don't know, it's not working at all. It's not a smooth paint whatsoever, so I took that out, hopefully temporarily. Going to figure out if it's just maybe the top layer of that. I've got a big jar of it, the top layer of that pigment, or if it's the entire bucket. But to be honest, if it's only the top layer, I'm kind of hesitant about working with the rest of the pigment, since I don't want to send it I don't want to send it out to customers. I did before the summer. I found out I got a complaint about the pigment. That it didn't want to re-wet at all. It wasn't even like it was acting weird on the paper. It didn't want to re-wet, and when it kind of eventually re-wetted, it just fell apart in like lumps. Like it was more of a very coarse emulsion than something else. It wasn't anything near watercolor, and I noticed the exact same thing. So I took one out. That's why I'm at 79 single pigments. That's not completely true, but I'll just say 79 single pigments. I have a sea green mix over here. I have my sap green over there. I have dirty blue and dirty blue exclusive. Those are all mixes. Which actually are only 4. Right, those are the only ones, I think. Yeah. So 75 single pigments, 4 mixes. So, enough of me talking, since I'll go, clear my throat and make noises like that. You don't want that. If you're interested, by the way, in like me making a swatch during the live, let me know which pigment you're interested in to see. As I said before, thanks Bello. There's a video that I just posted before this live, which takes about, I think, about 4 minutes. And this is just a wet swatch of everything. So you don't see the dry swatches. I have the dry swatches in my studio over here, so if you're interested in a pigment, I'll just get them. Yinmen blue. No, it's actually malachite. So, this wasn't I never finished this palette. Let me zoom in since I added another angle. I never finished this one. It's malachite. You can see it's kind of yellowing when it's wet. I don't want to have this in any debris in my Yinmin, but let me just take it like this. The palette wasn't like that nicely printed. The pigment numbers are on the bottom here, as you can see. Bone black, red ochre, brown ochre, yellow ochre, malachite, and this has lapis ash, I call it ash. It's, this lapis in it. Before I get questions, yes, I know it probably was, as you write, in the original palette, probably, or Egyptian blue maybe. But lapis ash was, for me, it was more affordable to make, and it was really well balanced with the rest, with the green, with the yellow leaning green from the malachite, and the warm ochre and the warm red and the deep black. So lapis it is. So Yinmin, thank you, Fifth Cat. Really appreciate that. I do have to say I am very happy that I have this in my range, and I will keep it as well. Like, this is just my standard range of paint. Wait. Let me have a look. What? Okay, Paolo, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Okay, so now my let me have a look. I am here. Yes, Paolo, you are absolutely right. I don't know why that is. There's not even a word here. I'm on my Etsy right now, so if you see any mistakes in my Etsy, typos or anything else, let me know. I changed some pictures so that they are more color accurate. But you know, things like that, really, I didn't even notice it. No, yeah, I need persons. I need people. I need people who read stuff. Important. So, this beautiful pigment, it literally, this one melts into your binder. You can almost say it doesn't need mulling, but it does. You can actually hear it. Just like. This is not my palette knife touching the slab. These are all those heated oxides of all the elements that have been used for creating yin min. And we need to mill them. We need to crush them a little bit. We need to make it a beautiful dispersed pigment. Only then it re-wets easily. And yeah, that's it. I'm having a look, Gulshan, if I can start offering it for a little bit cheaper, maybe. But it really depends on what the prices of the pigments do, actually. Because the prices have only been going up. So it's with everything, but pigments, sometimes even, I've seen a few pigments that went up, I think 130% in price compared to 2 years ago. Yeah, so I was really afraid. There was one person, I'm still the only one, handmade by the way, who offers Yentico, but I was one of the early adopters, I want to say adapters, but that's something else. I was one of the earliest handmade paint makers that offered Yentico, or Yinmin, sorry. And I got a message from someone who said, okay, I'm not going to buy this since after 2 months, like after you made it, so 2 months after you put it in the pan, it'll go like brick solid. It won't re-wet, it won't do anything. Paolo probably knows my listings at the top of his head. I don't know. No, the listings Paolo was just during the premiere of my last video, which I in that video I swatched all my paints, so all of those paints will be available. So if you have two screens, you can play it next to it. But that person said he wasn't going to buy it since this was known for going fully solid and won't re-wet anymore after a few months. And I was really afraid because I just bought like my first 2 jars of yin min, and it sent me back a few hundred euros. And I'm talking about like jars. And I thought, okay, now I don't wanna offer something that is only usable for like the first month after I made it. But I went on and made it anyway. And the one I'm swatching in my video is actually one of the first pens that I made. So that's about 1.5 years ago, maybe more. So I did that swatch by just using a wet brush going over a dry pen, and it re-wets beautifully. Oh, that's good. Good to know. I mean, basically, we've been talking, and I've been talking, and it's not non-stop mulling, but basically for a yin min, this is enough. So as soon as you don't hear the pigment particles anymore underneath your muller, the paint is good. And the thing with yin min is that it's quite opaque. It looks like a lot of paint is still on my slab here, but I just can't get more off than I'm doing right now. And this is not a paint that works well when you re-wet it a bit with a bit of water and you take everything off. The pigment particles are too heavy. So when this paint is too fluid, too much water, the pigment particles will go down and your paint will be really uneven. It's messy, so I'm not going to do that. So let's make a few dots. Okay, so we have, how many people do we have here? 11, I think. Is it 11? I don't know what you see. I have one screen with 17, I have one screen with 11, but that is okay, because no matter how many of you are here, I just made up a giveaway. So I think it's 17, yeah. I have a trio pen over here. A trio pen. Let me just show it to you like this. NTP yellow, Yintico red, Yinmin blue. This is a full size pen divided by 3 with the 3 latest primaries. This is my giveaway. So I'm going to open my shop during this live stream. And if you are in my live stream and buy something from my shop using the link that I will provide, this could be yours. Exciting. I can say, like, you can increase your chances by buying a dot of Yinmin or Yintico, but that's just cheating, so I won't do that. It's just any order. Has a chance. Oh, this isn't a good pen. I just saw that in time. Not a good, there you see. Not a good pen. I will recycle that. And I found a new way to recycle my failed prints or material that I don't use. And I'm actually quite excited by that idea. Because, oh, has a chance of what? Corpse starch, welcome. Janina, welcome. So the link I will provide, you have a chance. So it's the link in the description. Yes, it's also the link in the description, by the way. But I will send it in the chat as well. It's not open yet. I have a sending a message button. It's not open yet. Okay, so guys, my shop is not open. I'm not sure what's in that message, but I will press it anyway. No, it's not open, so the shop update is not live, but that was the message that I prepared. I have a little button here that shoots that message. It's not open yet. I will open it with you, so I will go behind my computer. I will open it live with you. But as I was saying, for everyone here during my live stream, I have a pen of NTP yellow, Yintico red, and Yinmin blue. Here, chance of winning this if you buy something from my shop and if you're here during my live stream. So a little YouTube thank you for me. Dots of Yinmin. But I was saying something else before that. What was I saying? I was saying something. Remind me, please, someone. Oh, Mark, you can say it was for Valentine's or something, you know, and if she doesn't get anything or not from the same kind of price point, you just say it was never delivered. I don't know. We can work around that. Oh, recycling my pens. Thank you. I will. Okay, so keep that in mind. Recycling my pens. I will just finish the dots of Yinmin blue, and I will kind of, let's have a look so you can appreciate the filling of a dot a bit better. Oh, corpse starch. You like, do you need this exact pigment or do you need the hue? No, NTP yellow is together with bismuth yellow. It is the latest yellow available, but bismuth yellow is, I don't know. It's not. It doesn't fit well with these. Let me just put it like that. For those of you who are wondering, do I have bismuth yellow as a pigment? That I know what I'm talking about. I do. Okay, so let me just quickly go to the chat. Yeah, it's on its way. Not like on its way, shipping on its way, but working very hard on it behind the scenes. Tracy, to you, that is the full pens. So I don't know. Can I kind of do this? It is way too messy for it, I think. Okay, I'm going to try something. All right. I'm going to try something. What am I going to try? I'm going to try to take you to my studio. And I'm not sure this is going to work. So, hang on, hold on. I need to make a little bit room. And let me just make sure that you can actually hear me as well. Okay, so you should be able to hear me now. Right, so I'm here in the dark, but you should be able to hear me. Let me know if you do. I'm quickly going to move some things. Since I wasn't really prepared on going mobile during my live stream, this is me moving boxes, and I'm just going to have a look if you can hear me. Well, I don't know if it's going to be shaky, hopefully not, but I'm going to do my best to make it as stable and as comfortable as possible for everyone. But I have like frames of stuff, of old paintings of mine actually, here. I really didn't plan on doing this. Next time I really need to write some things down or plan ahead or something, I don't know. Okay, so I'm kind of back. Okay, so what I'm going to try, and I really don't know if it's going to work, so hopefully this is all connected. This is all connected. Okay. Okay, so what I want to try, I want to show you part of my closed cupboard. I have a massive collection of pigments behind closed doors, and I want to share that with you. But I need some things to work with me now, but I think it's going to work. Can we make that? Yes, okay, that is working. Okay, so that's not blue anymore. And I will do this, and we are off. Okay, so I don't think this is going to work. I really don't think this is going to work because I have a wire now. Okay, I can still do it with a wire. Sorry if there's noise, guys. I really wasn't prepared for doing this. Okay, so I have that cupboard over there. So you see that cupboard? Next time I make sure that I can actually show you the cupboard from up close. But okay, that cupboard is full of pigments, stock, and things that I have no idea of what they are, because they were given to me by old artists, retired artists, and I'm literally talking about, you know, jars like this. It's a very interesting history behind the company there, by the way. It burned down and was only open for 2 years under that name, under the name that was like this name. There's an old newspaper article that you can find online. This is probably I don't know, Tracy, copper? Yeah, probably. I have one that is very close to Paris green looking from what's inside. So that's in my toxic cupboard. But pigments, I need to cough, but I will just take this microphone off first. Unknown pigments. So I have been thinking a while, okay, what do I do with the unknown pigments? I printed pens, but then I thought I wanna do something with my filled 3D prints as well. So filled 3D prints, like I showed you, they can look like this, and you can't print with this anymore unless you make a roll out of it again. And you know, if you don't know how 3D printing works, I'll explain it later. It is polylactic acid, PLA. It is a bioplastic technically biodegradable only under circumstances that aren't like in your compost pile in the garden. Then I thought, let's use a silicone waffle mold. Throw a bit of PLA in there. Filled prints. I collect my filled prints and scraps. And I was left with this. So this is it looks like white chocolate. Solid, rock solid, hard PLA waffle, filled prints. So this didn't cost me anything extra apart from like the oven for an hour and even on quite a low temperature. This is solid plastic. And I will use this as a palette for my unknown paints. Like there's no pigment numbers on there because I don't have any. It is reused plastic that otherwise would have been sent to a recycling center or thrown away. Perfect. But that's not in my shop. Right, this is just, I literally tried this one last week and it worked beautifully. Solid plastic palette. But in this one palette, a lot of my to be recycled material went into this palette. So it's not. I won't be able to make as many as I would wish. But recycled plastic. Of recycled plastic, because the PLA I use is already recycled but by a professional recycling company, and this is just scraps, like scraps of all different kinds of stuff, so it's not the same color anymore. It's mixed. I stirred it while it was in the mold, so yeah. Why not? I thought it was a good idea. Let me know if you, for those of you who think it is nice, thank you. But for those of you who don't or who think anything else, let me know what you think of it. So unknown pigments, and I will use pigments that I am almost certain about what they are. So this green is quite heavy. It could be an oxide that isn't used anymore. It could be a little bit toxic, so I don't want to use stuff like that. But any earth pigments and stuff like that, my cupboard is literally filled with ochres and different ultramarines and stuff like that. I'm sure that those are those pigments. I will add pigments like that. Okay. Miche, I think it is. My 3D printed pens are also made of recycled plastic, but it's between, I think, 98 and 100% recycled plastic, depending if they can guarantee the same color or not with the recycled material that they receive. So it's a very controlled environment. It's a very controlled temperature that they use to remelt it and grind it, and it's way more controlled than how I did it, because I literally had like hands full of scraps, like little end pieces of material, filled pens that I just threw into that mold and wait until it melted, and then I stirred in it, and not controlled whatsoever. But it's a solid, nice and piece, I think, and it's a perfect fit for things that I don't know what they are. I need to make my paint with maple syrup. No, I'm afraid I'm going to eat that. Like, in theory, I mean, I use honey and a bit of glycerin and gum arabic. In theory, this should be edible. A while back, I was kind of painting and doing stuff, and there was something on my finger, and or on my hand. I had an itch, so I did that, and I was like, well, what was that? And I tasted it. Was like tasted like honey. I thought, okay, that was binder. It tastes like honey. Don't try it though with mixed with paint. But it's honey. I'm not going to lick it cornstarch. I mean, I may no, no. Okay. The reason I couldn't take you, by the way, to that cupboard, I don't know what it was, but usually I have my phone. I'm using my phone for that camera. Usually it's wireless, but today it didn't want to work without a wire. So I wired it to my computer, and that's why I couldn't bring you along. Anyway, what's the time? It is almost 10. I think it's time to open a shop. Let me have a look. I do want to make sure that everything looks good from here, although this camera, it's a new laptop, but still, I don't know why they can't make those cameras the same quality as a webcam. I want to make my lights blue again. Can we do that? We can, right? Or can we play those things? Nah, that will be annoying if I do this, I think. Oh my god, I think it's going to do it. Yeah, that's going to be rainbow behind me. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me have a look. Shop opening, reopening. I need to. Yeah, you can launch the review if you use this link. My shop is open right now, you guys. So please, if you still hear me in the background, you have a chance to win the NTP yellow, Yintico red, and Yinmin blue trio pen if you make a purchase from my shop. I'm going to also check if it is really open, if it's working as well. I think it is. So the listings are swatches. If you click on a paint, the swatch video of that paint, which is also in my YouTube video, is behind the thumbnail. Yes, and if you look for me on Etsy, and it's not my shop, but on Etsy, the video plays when you swipe over the thumbnail, which I actually wanted. Make sure to use the link that I provided because it saves me a little bit of transaction fees from Etsy. Nothing to worry on your side. Also, I need to be talking in this one. So I'm just checking if everything works, since Etsy is a bit tricky sometimes when it comes to listings, renewing listings, or how they look. And I think everything works good now. I think. Also, on my YouTube, go check out my shop. I tend to mill things over, sorry, like that, with a muller print. Which individual links are you talking about? I think I need to turn this up a bit more, but I'll just head back to the slab. So, it's really annoying, by the way, that that lamp doesn't go normal anymore. You just go solid now, will you? Like that. Okay, and since, you know, we were doing some swatches before, let's do some yin min swatches here. As you can see, it is such an opaque paint. My absolute pleasure. I got kind of stressed by not having my shop open. But you know, it were the holidays and the shipping drama stuff and everything. That was a near perfect circle. That could have been a near perfect circle. It is a very. I like this. It's a very intense. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to take my swatches. It's an intense blue, but also it's intense because it is opaque. Thank you, Gulchen. Thank you very much. It is opaque, but also the bluest blue that we have it absorbs most other wavelengths than other blues. Which is interesting, because if you would show me this next to an ultramarine or cobalt blue, for instance, I would say that this is less blue, but it's less chromatic. But how many wavelengths in the blue area like are reflected here and absorbing the others, this one should win theoretically. So this seems like a lot of paint and a lot of pigment. It was only like a spoonful of pigment that I used. I made 1, 2, 3, 6, 18 dot pens with it. That's not true. 12 dot pens. And I collected this water once, put it in a little jar, see how much pigment would settle if I could kind of reuse it, since it's quite an expensive pigment. It was such a small amount of pigment, and literally that painty water was just flat, and like it lacked a lot. But what I want to do now is I want to show you cleaning a little bit too hard here. I want to show you the swatches that I made for the video, so we can put some thank you so much, Paolo. So we can put some colors next to each other. Okay. I'll have a look after this everything. So here are all the colors that you can purchase, all the single colors. So these are the micas aren't included in here. I have some very interesting micas, but I know it's not like for everyone. But when we take, for instance, an ultramarine blue and compare that with the Inmin, like this is such a big difference. But a lot of red, like warm red wavelengths are reflected by this one and aren't by this one. So anyone else who wants to see two colors next to each other, since like we are, you have the opportunity now to compare it next to each other if you are in doubt when you're buying paint. Thank you so much, Ark. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. PBK10. Yeah, that's. Oh, you are mean, Tracy. That's one of my worst swatches actually because um, I was I was filming it and this is such a light swatch because I didn't re-wet the pigment or I didn't activate the pigment for long enough. But this is what comes off when you just use a wet brush. And just to kind of defend myself here, so these are the swatches that I made for my Etsy listings, and this is PBK10 there. So it is a huge difference, but it's the same for some other things. Like I have PBK10 here and Dirty Blue exclusive. I'm just going to compare them here with what is on here. Dirty Blue exclusive. That's not the same. PBK10, not the same as well. So I didn't use enough time to reactivate the paint with these pigments. It's a shame for the video, but you know, like I said, the swatches and the actual colors are with the listings. Gulchin, what do you mean with I still have the cobalt pink in my Etsy card? Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to buff the PBK10 here, since this one is, you know, rather useless for that. Yeah, cobalt violet, I think, you know. Okay, so you are asking for Potter's Pink. We can put that next to Yintico, Cobalt, Violet, for instance. Ultramarine Pink, it's not that granulating on this paper, but we have Potter's Pink here to start with, next to Yintico Red, next to Cobalt Violets, and next to Ultramarine Pink. There's also Dragon's Blood. It's not really granulating, it's more texture, a texture, since this is it is a resin, the pigment. Maybe another interesting one to compare would be, let me have a look. Also, the this is manganese blue, but this is the paper here. It's not granulating on the paper, and I was looking and I might have used the wrong side of the paper here, which is a shame. If it did properly Sorry about that. If I did properly swatch, I need to have a look which one it is here. Yeah, this is 300 grams watercolor paper. This is what it should look like. Right, so hue-wise, it's correct. Granulating here, so good paper matters. I'm working on a video about that, by the way. Well, Gulchen, it really depends on which makers. Since I do not support everyone, since there are people who aren't transparent in their process, or are not really fair about what they use in their paint. So I'm a bit picky when it comes to that. Let me have a look. Thank you so much, Corpse Starch. Genuine Vermilion. I don't have that like here. I know I send you a dot mark, but since it's the Cinnabar and Vermilion that I made, I have it in dots. I'll have it in. I can make it for you. Send me a message if you're interested in pigments like that, or in more if you have or know them already. But I'm still not really. I still haven't really figured out what I want to do with the more hazardous pigments. So the cadmiums, for instance, I have some cobalts. I know. Cadmiums are, pigment-wise, they are a little bit different for me. But things like vermilion or anything with mercury or you name it, too much copper in them, I'm kind of trying to avoid for now. Still not figured out if I'm going to offer them. Now, Gulshan, that's you know, a lot of people don't include pigment numbers, and I actually prefer using only pigment numbers. For instance, I have a PV15, which I can compare to my PV62, and I know this is ultramarine violet next to strontium violet, but this is easier for me. With this entire range, I made sure to use the best versions of these pigment numbers that I could get. So, until now, right? So maybe in the future I have thank you so much for your orders, by the way, guys. In the future I might find a better version of a pigment, for instance, but for now, like all these pigments, all these single pigment paints and mixes are all made out of the best version of that pigment that I could find. I don't know how much PB29s I have. It's my first pigment, and I bought more and more and more and different brands and compared them, and I noticed a difference, and I noticed a lot of things. So yeah, it is what it is, and that's what makes it fun for me as well. I mean, I have a great collection of pigments. This thing really has trouble focusing. I have a great collection of pigments, and I really enjoy trying everything out as well. Maybe this is going to work, but yeah. Any other things that you want to see compared next to each other? I know I like these two, and on paper here, it's not much of a difference when you see it on the camera, but this is like a cooler version of Perylene Green, and this is a warmer version, PBK 32 and PBK 31. Thank you so much, Durwood. What other things? Scarlet next to Pyrrole Orange. Definitely two different colors, but they can be used in the same way. Both Pyrrole pigments as well, by the way. Paolo, I'll add a dot for you. Do you want to have cinnabar, vermilion, or both? I'll just add a dot. It's on the house. Two interesting ones, because sometimes I don't. Yeah, this is one. This is my reddest red, the Pyrrole Scarlet. In the pen, I barely see a difference between these two, but on paper they are quite different. PR 101, Caput Mortuum, and Indian Red. Let me have a look if there is something similar. Oh, Gulchen, my shop stays open, but let me have a look. Wait. So, oh, thank you so much, guys. I see that a lot more orders came in. Thank you so much. So if you could have one moment. So if you add, and this is not like, this is just a friendly gesture instead of like me trying to get you to spend more. But if you add this code that I just sent in the chat, if you use that code with your order that you made this day, you can add paints without needing to pay for extra shipping. I do have to say, for the replay, if you use this code with your first order to get free shipping, I will cancel your entire order. Just because I think that seems fair. Because that means the the shipping isn't like insured as well. So this is just extra on top of your order that you made before. If you, I haven't checked everything yet, but if you made 2 orders already, kind of because you forgot something, I don't know if that happened, send me a message on Etsy and I will just compensate it with extra paint of your choice to make it difficult for myself. Michelle, thank you so. Okay, so that's for you. Thank you so much. But let me know. Just send me a message on Etsy, and I will add a paint of the kind of same amount of the extra shipping costs. Corpse starch. I don't know what did you make an order already? Yeah, right. So if you already made an order just now, yeah, you can use that code and won't pay for extra shipping with an extra order. Also, please note, these are pre-orders, most of them. I have some stock, but I also started selling a bit of my paint in a local shop. So for Etsy, these are pre-orders. It takes me a couple of weeks to fill everything, to ship everything. If you think in the meantime, maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, okay, maybe I need another paint, send me a message. Use that code as well, so you can add it. But if you send me a message, I'll send you this code through the message on Etsy. So next week, if you think, okay, maybe I still want to have, that paint or anything, let me know. The shipping is, it kind of just covers it for me. Some rare few times, shipping turns out to be like 10 cents less than I asked for it. Sometimes €2 more in a rare case. But yeah, I can't refund shipping with Etsy. I can't, so this is the way that I do it. If I notice that the shipping is way less than the order actually was, I usually contact that person, or if I already contacted them, I kind of compensate the difference with paint as well, like an extra dot of, I don't know, ultramarine green, for instance, because this is also in my shop, guys. Ultramarine green, which is interesting, next to phthalo turquoise. Same hue-ish thing, way more transparent, staining, granulating, and more opaque. Also ultramarine green next to cobalt, green dark, which is more green, I know, but I've said that before. There's loads of versions of ultramarine green, but this is mine. Yeah, I don't know. Don't give me more ideas, Tracy. Thank you very much. I like it. I like it too. I mean, this is like as a raw pigment, and the swatch next to it, it's quite similar-ish, but not as similar as ultramarine green, blue, for instance, is next to this. But the weird thing is, ultramarine green is more similar to this in the pen than ultramarine blue is, as a dry pigment versus paint thing, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, that's one more thing. All the shipping that I offer is insured, so I don't do not insured shipping anymore. Although that was kind of a bummer last quarter. PV29. some packages went missing, but that was fully like it wasn't the insurance part, shipping company part thing. It was an in between part thing, but I completely kind of excluded that part out now. So it should everything from like the jar to the paint to your house should be insured. Everything, hopefully. How toxic are cobalt colors? Don't ingest them, don't inhale them, but you paint with them as you please, I think. Can you compare lapis, ultramarine blue, and yinmin again? Lapis, yes. It is, though, the frangelico blue. I do have to add that this is not the best swatch I have of it, because I don't have a lot of the pigment anymore. And I want to be really honest about that. So I'm going to just take my kind of swatch posters that I have over here. And I used quite a lot of pigment for this one. So you asked for ultramarine. Lapis, ultramarine blue, and yinmin. Ultramarine blue, lapis, yinmin. So, ultramarine blue, lapis, yinmin. And if you're talking other lapis, we can do that as well. We can do everything here. That's this one. Let's have a... What about ultramarine blue, green, and cerulean? 35, 36. I have 35 cerulean blue over here. Cerulean blue, ultramarine green. Yeah, it's lapis ash, so it is the most less chromatic version of lapis that I have. I think, you know, ash is the best description. Anything that is kind of close to for instance, this, well, you don't see that, this, if people call that ash, it is a really expensive ash. So the definition of ash is that it is the last part of the stone that has a little bit of blue in it that is used as a pigment. The first step that is extracted is frangelico blue, and even that can be refined. The last step is ultramarine ash. Compare all the purples. Well, they're here. Now we can have a look. Define purples, because for me it's like this. These three, all violets. I do like to put these next to each other as well. Although this is PR 122, quinacridone magenta. Fifth cat. Wait, I'm not sure what you're asking. Ultramarine blue and Frangelico. I do offer those. I have 2 full pens of Frangelico. I have a few dots. I have unlimited amounts of ultramarine blue. That's not unlimited, but it's quite a lot. This is dioxazine violet. It is incredibly tinting, and it has an enormous drying shift. Since, let me have a look if I can show it to you. Probably I can probably, let me have a look. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm having a look. So I can probably share my screen, right? I can share my screen. Yes, here we are. So, so there it was already. Share my screen, right? So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. So, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, there it was already. Share my screen, right? It's literally the same. So this is the swatching video I was talking about. This, yes, here we are. And so, if you want to see that video, just go check it out after the live stream. Thanks, Fat Filbert. When did what pop up? What happened? I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. Please share it with me. Oh, I really need to fix that. I'm sorry, guys. No, I didn't see anything as well because, you know, like, my audio is completely off. because otherwise it starts to echo. But I think I looped something internally in the audio mixer software. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, I really need to check that. Thanks for that. I need to do a session like this and just record it without broadcasting it, and then it's the thing with the audio that I use. It's all like USB based microphones. They all come together in an app instead of a mixer, so it doesn't really have physical plugs or anything. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'll have a listen to the replay. What's that color? Third row from the bottom for a long. Let me have a look. Left to right. 4. This one. This, I can just answer it anyway. This is the sea green. It's a mix of phthalo green, blue shade, phthalo blue, green shade, and white, PW18. And this one is phthalo cyan, PB17, single pigment cyan, non-granulating cyan, instead of the heavily granulating cyan manganese blue. Thank you. Okay, so I really need to watch the replay now, Tracy. It's I want to know what happened. I really want to know what happened. Like there, why can't we? If I go click there, you'll be there. It happens again. I'm sure it will, because everything I click there will happen live. So I won't be doing that. Okay, so is there anything else you would like to see or hear or ask or you name it? Because I'm still like not feeling very well. I'm going off to bed in a minute. Yeah. Yeah, that. Oh, the fifth cat. That the. Yes. Frangelico. I had a kind of rant about that in a different live stream. And I'm not going there. Not now. No. But I'm pretty sure there's a fake pigment going around that is used by a lot of sellers. Anyway, dang, I said it. Can I check this? Because I just want to share with you that I now have Muller emojis as well. And I think Fat Filbert is the only one who can use them. I'm not sure. Does anyone else see the emojis? I'm working on making more colors, by the way, but No, it's just, you can take this from me. If you ever see a pigment called Fra Angelico, if you ever see paint that is genuine Fra Angelico, and it is not ridiculously expensive for a half pen, it's not real. The process of getting that pigment is just too labor expensive. It is just is, and nothing is cheap nowadays. Nothing is. So yeah, that's thanks everyone. So great for everyone that they can see the Muller emojis, but you cannot use them, right? So if you click on an emoji button, there's like no homemade emojis there, right? Can I? No, I can't. No. Haha. So that is only for my YouTube members. And there's currently one, which I'm really thankful of. But in the future, I will have a look how I can kind of include my YouTube members if they become more. If it stays at one right now, a poll isn't really the best thing I can use if there's only one person who can vote. But I want my members here on YouTube to decide with me which new pigments I will introduce. So I have introduced this shop update, PV14, PV62, PBK32, and Mayan Red PR2. 87. So these four are the latest pigments in my range of paint. If you want to be a part of that, you can kind of become a member of my YouTube, and I will start introducing polls where I will give you options of pigments that I have to include into my existing line of paint. So you probably know how to become a member better than I do. I'm not sure. It is different in a way that being a member costs you a few dollars a month, $2.99 I think. You get an exclusive chat right on the live streams. You can get exclusive early access to videos, stuff like that. But you can probably see it in my on my channel or when I end my live stream. Do you know if the cheaper NYX sensors can detect pigments? What do you mean with detect pigments? I mean, they detect color. What do you mean with detect pigments? Happy to answer that now still, but after this I'm going. So for those of you who don't want to wait, thank you so much. Thanks everyone who made an order. Thanks everyone who joined this live stream again, asking the questions, having a laugh without me. Fine, completely fine. I'll just watch the replay tomorrow, I think. Maybe I'll have a laugh as well. Who knows? So, thanks everyone for joining. If you want to make a order, if you already made an order and you want to make an extra order, extra paint, scroll above through the chat. I don't think I can pin anything from where I'm sitting here. I'm fine with impulse purchases. Like the best pigments have been bought that way here, so no. Yeah. Back to corpse starch. Identify them. Yes and no. So what the NYX spectrometer does, this one, the bigger one, this can read the wavelengths, or this can show you the wavelengths, and every pigment has a kind of graph that is not exclusive for that pigment, but you can take a lot from it. But I doubt if you would see the difference in, and let's just going to say like these, whereas manganese blue is a little bit more chromatic than phthalocyan, but the amount of chroma is like the wavelengths, the curves would be higher, more spikes, but I doubt if these are this much difference because it doesn't read granulation, for instance, right? Also really depending on if you use the same amount of pigment, if it's the if you read, then we're going to take these three. Sap green, this is a wash of sap green, this is not mass tone. Full mass tone is the top here. Malachite, Victoria green, somewhere in the wash, the mass tone and the wash here, they're kind of similar. It doesn't show you if something is a natural, genuine malachite or synthetic, or maybe a mix of things. Mixes it could show, by the way, since it has a saddle bump in the wave. I'm sorry, guys. My mind is kind of going quite. My thoughts are everywhere because yes, I know the answer. No, it's not possible to scan and see this is PP15, this is PR264, this is PP14, this is PG24. It doesn't do that. So that's the answer. You could use it. Yeah. It is 5 to 11 here, so. Is Google Pay necessary, Tracy? I don't know. I need to look into it. Thank you, Mark. And thank you exactly for the community. I see there's 18 people like hanging around here like almost constantly. I see in a graph over there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much, everyone who made a purchase in my shop. For those of you still here, you have a chance on winning the NTP yellow, Yintico red, and Yinmin blue pen. And we're talking about this one, this one, and this one right over there. You can win those. You can win those. Oh, Gulchen, you're Dutch. I didn't know that. Sorry about that. Nederlander hier. Nou, goedenavond. Nou, you can win this by making a purchase in my shop if you already also joined my live stream here. So, I want to end with this. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope everyone has a great night, a great day for wherever you are. And I'm going to get some rest because you might hear my voice, but I feel my voice as well, which is a bad sign. So, thanks everyone. Have a great day. Hopefully see you very soon. I'm going to plan this weekly. Thursdays aren't going to be ideal anymore, so probably Fridays. Um, but I'll let you know as well. And I'm going to try to start the community function with on YouTube. So the posts on YouTube, going to try to start that a little bit more. So if you want to know any messages or updates or anything, and you don't have Instagram or you don't follow Instagram, just go to the community tab on my YouTube channel. Also, if you're still here and you haven't done it, give it a thumbs up here to just, help the community out. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.